All right, guys. Today we're going to be going ahead and making that Flow Star cuff correctly this time. I also did a Michael's run on my way home, so we have all the beads that I want for this cuff. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. We're going to be listening to Ray Volpe back-to-back Kaiwachi. I did not know that their set was going to be this fire until I listened to it before. So I'm really hoping they do a back-to-back at a fest that I am at. So what we're going to do for this cuff is we're going to go ahead and take everything that I showed you yesterday with how to make an X base and then add a 3D layer on top of it afterwards. And I also got the blue that I wanted. So my first time seeing Kaiwachi will actually be at EDC this year, so I'm pretty excited. I have listened to his music just on the fly, but I've never actually heard him live yet. If we have time today, we'll also finish the cuff that we started yesterday. The only reason I have this paper here, it is not at all necessary. It is just for visual sake. Because I understand that yesterday's stream was pretty hard to see. Star Perler. Keep that to the side. I would use some of this gray, but I'm not going to for this cuff. I was looking for this blues. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to put my blues down in here just because it's a lot easier to manage in the bowl instead of in the bag. And I'll do the same thing with my blacks. And we are going to go ahead and speed run this double X base. I will also be turning up the music as well, just so we can vibe. So same thing as yesterday. I'm gonna go ahead and keep the single band on the roll just so I only have to manage one side. You can also do the trick where you tie off where you can tie off the tip bead. I don't really like that trick, and the only reason I don't is because it makes it look a little funny. Because you essentially get one bead that has the knot tied around it. Now, what I have done in the past is done that trick, and then simply untied that individual bead. But it's a pain in the butt, and this way it's honestly just more easier. Now, if I do go quiet today, it is because I'm looking to the side and just taking a look to see what my class is doing. I'm currently studying database database administration, and I'm ahead of the class right now. So like really what she's reviewing are things that I've already read in the textbook. So I'm just keeping an eye to see if she's doing any demos or anything like that. We are almost to our 12. I'm going to do 12 even though it's going to be enormous. But that's because the last one was small. And also the other reason why I want to do it is because I want to make it look as much as a flow star as possible. And if you only do 10, you're only going to have a 5 point. So I'm going to be doing a 12. I'll do this 2 more times. Then that will put me at 36 total beads on the single band cuff. What's great about when I started making cuffs is that when I realized like, oh, like I can measure my cuffs literally by bead size, it made it so much simpler for making any sort of single, because then I just go like, okay, I want to make this one 30, I want to make this one 32. And you just go in those threes, or 33, or even 32, if you want the size to be different. 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and tie this off. So for EDC Orlando, I will be staying at a friend's house, which is going to be fantastic because they live in Orlando. That also means that the party doesn't stop. So that's going to be also a lot of fun. Because the only thing that sucks about EDC Orlando is that it ends at 12. So when it ends, it's like, okay, like you can go to the afters, but the problem is that Orlando has a curfew for clubs and things like that. So if you go to the afters, you're gonna end up being, you're gonna end up leaving in like an hour or two, and it's gonna take an hour minimum just to get into the afters because everybody's going to the afters. So we're not gonna bother going to the afters. We usually don't even go to afters. Like unless it's like EDC or Lost Lands, we don't really go to afters. Just because it's like for me, it's like it's not part of the festival, so it's like the vibes are just off because you start mixing the festival guys with the club guys, and it just ain't it. I've seen a lot of people who said home base was really good, and that some people even do home base without even doing EDC Orlando. And I thought about it. Not this year though. As interested as I would be in home base. All right, so now we have our single here with a long string coming out of it. So same thing as yesterday. We're gonna go ahead and go make sure we're going out of an accent bead, and then go black, blue, black. So if you have big fingers like me, you can literally just do that, put it through, and then go through the next blue. So we can get our first point. And then we're just going to go ahead and start going through that again. So one of the really nice things though about going to EDC Orlando is how close it is. So I live in South Florida. And it's also like, so I've been also to Forbidden Kingdom, which that was a fantastic fest, especially me being a base head. My only concern with EDC Orlando is quite literally just first and foremost the crowd, because there's a lot more mainstream within the crowd. Um, as much as I like Subtronics, I do find issues with his crowd, since he has become a more mainstream dubstep DJ. And there's going to be a lot of that in EDC Orlando. Not even just dubstep, so not even just Subtronics crowd, even though I'm very excited to see both him and the Leveltronic set, but also with the more house DJs. There's also something else I've heard a lot is that EDC has a very big overcrowding problem. So I'm very much hoping that that does not affect me. Um, but one can only wait and see. I'm not going in there with any sort of conception. I'm trying to go in there as open minded as possible. But literally, this is the fest that I'm going to back Lost Lands. So it's going to be very, very, very difficult for me to go to this fest without comparing it to Lost Lands, especially because this year was my first Lost Lands. This year will be my first EDC Orlando. And then next year I will be going to EDC Las Vegas, which that will be a lot of fun. So it will be nice to compare EDC Orlando to EDC Las Vegas because it is there are two different festivals. One is a camping festival, and that literally shuts down a whole speedway. And one is a city festival that is in a field in front of a stadium that doesn't even let you in the stadium. So even though they have the same name, I really don't like to think of EDC Orlando and EDC Las Vegas as the same. I hear a lot of good things about EDC Orlando. One of my coworkers has literally been to EDC Orlando every single year. Well, not every single year, for the past 8 years. So it's like, how bad can it be if you got people who are like loyal to the vest? So again, like I mentioned yesterday, just make sure that you're getting your band nice, your X's nice and tight. The X's are more important to keep tight. You don't want them so tight that they're firm, but you do want them tight enough that the points can kind of like stay formed. I found that there is such thing as too tight. So what I like to do is when I do tighten it, give it one stretch, and that usually gets me to where like I've never had an issue with that. I usually get some good quality cuffs just doing that one stretch. Because if you do more than one stretch, then it's going to be essentially it's going to undo essentially all the tightness that you did, and then if you do less than one stretch, then you're just I mean you're doing no stretches, so it's just going to be firm and tight. So just one stretch, just to get it a little looser, make it easier to put on and off, make it easier to trade. Just make sure that the whole band stretches while still staying tight. That's all you have to do essentially. That's the concept behind it. Every dubstep song has a fake out drop. The will to live, can we fucking stop? So some must sees that I want to see at EDC Orlando. Like I said earlier, Leveltronics for sure. I've been dying to see a Leveltronics set, so I'm really hyped for that. I am also excited to see Subtronics because due to the Fibonacci tour, we have not been able, like my wife and I, we have not been able to see Subtronics essentially all year. We saw him at the beginning of the year at Dayer, but that was a terrible time. Not because of him, because of the actual crowd at Dayer nightclub. We gave it another try with Sullivan King, and it worked well. So it was entirely the crowd, unfortunately, to say. So when you get to this point that you have your first X's, something I didn't show you yesterday was that you want to pay attention to this here. So if you look, I essentially have a break between the accent bead and the other one. So instead of just going right out of the first point, you're going to want to put it through the black, is through your base color beads again, and then go out the next point. As tempting as it is to just go into the next point, you want to make sure you do that for this first row, or else it's going to come out, that one section is going to come out really crappy. So I'm going to put it through the two base color beads, then through the accent bead, and then up and out in the point. Another must see for me this year is gonna be. I saw Excision will be there. I may not go watch Excision set. As fun as Excision is, I just saw him at Lost Lands like 3 times. So anyways, I was reading Botted Whispers, I think. I didn't realize I still had those on my account. I don't know what any of this stuff is. I should probably look at this later. So, So now I'm going up and out of the tip. Voila. We're on the second row. Make sure I give it a good stretch. And I know it's tight enough because I can build my points and they stay. It's not floppy. So now we're just going to go ahead and just do this a couple more times. You're going to want to do it 4 total times for the points and then do the base color again. I do. So Kaiwachi is also a must see because I want to see Kaiwachi live. The only thing concerning to me is going to be his visuals because Kaiwachi's visuals can get a little out of hand sometimes, and that's the whole reason why I don't like people like Sudden Death, just because their visuals get pretty dark, and I'm not into that. So I know Kaiwachi's visuals can get like that. I'm really hoping that it just doesn't bother me. Sullivan King does that sometimes too, where some his visuals can kind of get out of hand, but it's not anything that I'm like, all right, like I hate Sullivan King because of this. Let me pull up the lineup. Let's see who my other must sees would be here. EDC Orlando. So we're just gonna kind of read off of them. Adam Bayer presents Drum Code. I mean, it sounds like it's gonna be a drum and bass set. I might not be. I'm not gonna be opposed to it. I like drum and bass when I want to dance. Drum and bass and techno, and then like when I just want to be dumb and myself, I go listen to dubstep. But I will say, after going to Lost Lands, a whole weekend of dubstep is a lot. Like we broke it up with some drum and bass and some rhythm, but I would like to see. Um, I would like to see if for Lost Lands there's a possibility of doing a very tiny techno stage because I think techno is very much close to bass music and that it can make it in a bass fest, but that is a bold decision, and I know it's going to get a lot of the bass heads very upset because they're very protective of Lost Lands and the crowd there, which I completely get because it is fantastic. Uh, but it's like it's a fest. It's a big fest. It's gonna happen eventually. I mean, the Millennium crowd was not it. I don't know. Hot take. I don't like Millennium fans. Subtronics. I know I gave him some crap or his fans some crap earlier, but I'm a Subtronics fan. The only thing is just he's mainstream. So like people bring their friends and they're like, hey, this is how I can get you into dubstep. I'm gonna have you listen to Subtronics, and that's how most people get into dubstep. I've been listening to dubstep since Skrillex, so I've always been into dubstep. I just didn't know the current dubstep artists until very recently when I got back into EDM. I need Kraiwachi at Kaiwachi because that is going to be. I literally might cry at Kraiwachi. I don't know. He's already confirmed that he will be doing Kraiwachi at EDC Orlando, which is both so exciting and so terrifying because I'm going with a pretty big group, and it's a group of people that I do enjoy raving with. So I don't want to. While I don't want to be that guy who's like, I love you guys, I may end up being that guy who's like, I love you guys. I was almost that guy during Breakaway because this is the same group I went to Breakaway with, and yeah, let's. I'm gonna avoid that at all costs. But true story, Breakaway literally was life changing. Um, I would not be where I am at today if it was not for Breakaway. And I can tell you the story, especially since nobody's quite watching it. So it's one day this VOD will come back out, and yeah, yeah, it'll be interesting. But essentially, a breakaway Tampa 2025. I went with my group of friends, which is majority of my wife's friends who I'm obviously her husband and she brought me. We were there, we were having an absolute blast and it was like that eye-opening moment that is really hard to describe and it's kind of like it feels so fake to say, but it's so real that I kind of just like looked around and saw the people I was with, saw the crowd. It was a fantastic crowd at Breakaway. And at the time I wasn't happy with where I was at in life. It wasn't that like I was hating life, but I was forcing myself to do and be someone that I wasn't. So, I was in a job that I enjoyed the company so much that I stayed. But it wasn't a job that was for me. It wasn't a job that I loved. It was fun at first, but it just wasn't me. And I just, for a long time, I was struggling with that. And I kept telling myself, okay, like, it's just a phase. I'm going to grow out of it. I'm going to like the job. And it just never came. And I was on the verge of leaving the company as a whole because I didn't have the guts to look at my boss and tell her, hey, like, I don't like the job. Um, I want to go to a different job because most companies wouldn't be cool enough to let you do that. Thankfully, the company that I work for is. But anyway, besides the point, I'm at Breakaway and I look at my group and I'm just like, wow, like I just can't believe that like I just really don't like my job. I was stressing about it all weekend. I was like, I've been stressed all day, but being here with you guys is just like it's just it. And then they were like, "Yeah, like you shouldn't be stressing about your job. It's always fun. It's always fun to rave together. I can't believe that. Um, I can't wait for to keep doing this moving forward." So then I got home that week from that weekend, and I just kind of sat on that. Just kind of looking at myself, and then the next day is when I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a change. And I made the decision, and I talked to my wife before, and I was just like, hey, look, like this is what I'm going to talk to them about it. I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to be okay though. And her being awesome, she went and supported me. She's like, you do what you have to do because I want to see you happy. So then I go to my boss and I'm like, hey, look, like this is where I'm at. I really don't want to do this anymore. Like, can we figure something out? And surprisingly enough, they're like, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Like I figured that this was gonna happen eventually. So then there was an agreement that I would go into a different position that was a step back in my career versus a step forward. But I was okay with it because it was a position that I did like more. Because I had had a position similar to that very at my last job. So then that happens, and the most miraculous thing happens at the end of that week. So this was the Tuesday after, or the Monday after breakaway was when I had that conversation. That Tuesday, I get pulled into a high level executive's office from the company. I'm like, oh crap, I'm getting fired. And no, I wasn't fired. I was offered a position that I genuinely wanted. What my career path has been leading me up to. The position just under what my mentor is. And I'm like, they were like, hey, like, this is what happened. I heard that you wanted to get out. I know that you want to do this. We have an opening that we're going to be opening up. Do you want to do this? And I'm like, yeah, is that even a question? So then what happens after is they're like, hey, look, like it's going to be a process for us to move you from one position to another. Stick with us and you're in. And most I know most companies will say that, and then it's just like, ah, like we're just gonna milk you for everything you got. Not this one. The whole time they're like, hey, look, like this is our updates. Like we're trying to get you in. We're just trying to figure out like your replacement, things like that. We're restructuring the department you're getting out of. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Breakaway was in April, so this all happened in April. It took until September for me to actually switch positions, but we stuck with it. Communication is key in any relationship, whether it be professional or not. And I have never been so happy to be in the position that I am because I am doing what I want to do. I have a good team backing me. My boss is awesome. And not to say my old boss wasn't, she was also awesome. But I am I feel truly blessed to be with the people that I am with, along with the along with the people who have supported me throughout all that. And that all happened because of Breakaway. I have to give it to Breakaway because I had that's where the epiphany happened. That's where I opened my eyes and I was like, wow, okay, I don't want to do this anymore, and this is what I want to do, and I'm gonna make it happen. Like I'm not gonna quit on the people I like, but I am gonna communicate my feelings, and it's not something that I am very easily done. I don't like keep my heart in my sleeve, so that includes very much my thoughts and feelings, especially in the professional space. But very much happy with where I'm at. But anyways, because of the fact that I had such a life changing experience at Breakaway, and it was with that group of people, I very much see them as like my main rave fam. I raved with other people before, but it's like these people. It's like all right, like they're cool. Like I can definitely like see raving with them for a while. Whenever I see those videos, that's like, oh, this is who this is in your rave fan. This is who this is. I'm like, okay, I can literally name each and every one of those people in my rave fan. Rave dad being me, rave mom being my wife, and it's not at all because we're husband and wife. It's literally because of our natures. Uh, so yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I also don't think they'll be at the Kaiwachi set, so that would be very helpful for the Kaiwachi. But we'll see. We'll only wait and see because we're just gonna have to wait and see what the night takes us, and also what the set times are. All right. So continue on the list. Argy, never heard of them. Also, I don't know a lot of these people that I'm supposed to apparently know as a raver. Sorry, not sorry. Um, my neck. Armin von Buren, don't know him. Ayab, Abo, don't know him. Bart Skills, don't know him. Cannibalists, I will not be watching Cannibalists. I've never watched Cannibalists, even though I know they're a popular artist. I don't know if it's he, she, but I have seen them on multiple lineups, and I've been meaning to go watch them just because I think like I've seen him on so many lineups. So I'm like, screw it, I might try it. But I will not be watching them this year. I mean, who knows? It depends on the set times, but I'm not planning on seeing them. Carlos Mendoza, not planning on seeing them. Chris Lake, no. DJ Circle K, no. Edgar V, no. Gorgon City, no. Gorilla T, entirely depends on set times and where my group is. Because there might be a couple times that me and my wife, being the base heads we are, will go side quests where the rest of our Ray fam likes more house and techno. So we're gonna be separating from them a couple times. Uh, Jaden Bodges. I don't know them. Jeff, Cassian, Kevin, Lavren, Leighton. Don't know any of those people. Luke Dean, back to back Ranger. Don't know him. Um, Kevin DeVrice. Don't know him. Laverne. Nope. Leighton. Nope. Oh wait, no, I've been through that. Luck Von Dijk. Nope. Miss Monique will definitely be seeing her. Morgan Cetri, don't know him. Porter Robinson, don't know him. Propsa, back to back Katama, don't know him. Riordan, don't know him. Rudimental, don't know him. Sarah Laundry, duh. Of course I'm gonna go see Sarah Laundry. Slug, don't know him. Soda, don't know him. Sub Focus, I may go see because I've also seen them on a lot of different lineups too. And it's a sunset set, and I don't see anyone else here who's on a sunset set. So yeah, I don't know if I'll see them, but like if it just if the lineups line up, me and my wife are also planning other side quests to go on like rides and things like that to actually go enjoy like the festival grounds, because we don't want to go headliner hunting. Sweet rave. This is just me making sure that it stretches all the way that the actual rubber band can stretch. So I've got a couple X's here, so that means I can stretch it out a little bit more. All right. I am gonna go ahead and report you, dog, because I'm not interested in your bot and nobody else should be. Sayonara. So yeah, I mean that's currently our plan. Plans obviously change, especially once you get to the venue. But we're trying to have as much fun as possible. It's our first EDC Orlando, and there's only so much time in the day. Let's keep going. So sub focus maybe Tate B. I don't know. I'm not a huge Tate B fan. A lot of people like Tate B. I do like the Levity back to back, crank that back to back Tate B set, but that's also because I really like Tate B and I really like Levity. Not to say that Tate B's portion of the set was bad. I think it melded really well with the style. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna watch Tate B, to be perfectly frank. Tiffy Vera, don't know him. Virtual Riot, I will not be watching Virtual Riot. And the only reason I say that is because I don't like Virtual Riot enough to actually go out of my way to go see a set. Void, because of reasons I said earlier, I will definitely not be watching Void. I don't like their visuals or any of the crazy crap they do. Um, like, not to say his music is bad. It is a little bit on the heavy side for what I like. but and I know there's a huge community behind Void and Sudden Death. I just don't. I'm not a huge fan at all. I didn't see the Void set at Lost Lands. I won't be watching the Void set at EDC Orlando for same exact reasons. Wooly, I may watch the Woody set. I won't lie. Wooly has been one of those artists that had been hit or miss for me. So I watched him first at Cyclops Cove 3, and it was fantastic. And then we went to go see Wooly. I don't remember where the next time we saw Wooly was. I want to say we went to go watch his set at Forbidden Kingdom, and it just wasn't it. Like, we just didn't have a good time. But then we went to go watch the Wooly Lost Land set. And that brought me back to Wooly. To be perfectly frank, that was a fantastic, breathtaking set, and I could not have asked for a better set before Subtronics back to back Excision. Especially also right after Crank That. His set was also hilarious. I don't know if anyone has seen the memes of it, but it was just pure, unadulterated, beautiful chaos. So I will more because of the lineup, especially if the set times line up. I will 110% be giving Wooly another chance. I'm hoping because it is an EDC, even if it is a mainstream fest, that he's still gonna do a similar set the way he did Lost Lands. It has been 2 months since Lost Lands, so I'm hoping some of these sets are kind of like different than what they did played at Lost Lands. But I can't blame them if they play a very similar set to what they did at Lost Lands. And if they do, I'll just go explore the venue. That's the Friday must sees for me. Saturday, 2R. Never heard of them. 100 Drums. I've heard of them. I've just never listened to them. I don't even know what genre they are. So I probably won't watch them. And this is all just me speaking for me. There's 4 other people in my Ray fam, and I very well may end up watching some of these sets. I don't know. I'm just here for the vibes. Um, Andrometric, never heard of them. Apache, never heard of them. Barely Alive. I will not be seeing Barely Alive set. I'm pretty sure they're house. I don't like house. I'll watch a house set if everyone else is there, but I'm not a house fan. I'm a bass head. It's like putting oil. It's like oil and water for me. I I don't like house. Sorry, Barely Alive. Beltran, won't be watching them. Ben Hemsley, don't know him. Ben Sterling, I will not be watching Ben Sterling set. Cassian, don't know him. Chase West, don't know. Clooney, don't know him. Coco and Breezy, don't know him. Cold Knight, don't know him. Crank Dat, I will definitely be watching Crank Dat set because Crank Dat set never misses. And somehow he always finds a way to add some new flair to his set. I watched him at Forbidden Kingdom. I watched him at Lost Lands, and every single time it has been fantastic. My wife watched him at EDC Las Vegas, also fantastic. DJ Snake, I will not be watching, or I will hopefully not be watching. I think that the people in the My Ray fam are going to want to watch it. I'm not a huge DJ Snake fan, personally. Hot take, as usual. Dombrensky, never heard of him. Drea V, never heard of him. Eli Brown, I think I'm going to watch him. I don't know yet. I may watch him. Again, don't know. Heard a lot of good things about Eli Brown. Eli Oaks, nope. Excision. So, like I said earlier, I don't know if I'm going to watch Excision. If the set times work out that I can go stop by Excision set, yeah, sure, like I'll go watch Excision, but I've already seen him twice this year at Forbidden and at Lost Lands, and his set is not going to compare to Lost Lands, so I'm like, I might not even bother going to watch him. Fury and MC Dino, don't know him. Holly, don't know him. Infect, I don't think I'm gonna watch Infect set. Not a huge Infect fan. I saw them at Lost Lands. Not a huge Infect set fan. They play good music. Just not a huge fan. Kaiwachi, like I've said a couple times this stream, definitely be watching Kaiwachi. You can come in. Let's snuck in.
Are you in class and doing Kandi? Anybody watching it?
No. I also didn't post about it. Mm-hmm.
Such a sweetheart. First time meeting her, we were talking like we were friends for ages.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought you guys knew each other.
First time meeting her. Very nice. She wanted some abstract art.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I just came up with it on my head.
Very abstract.
What do I need for dinner? That was my last client of the week.
I have no idea. I did just get my disability check today, so we can order out. Or we can eat out. I don't know.
You're gonna say hot pot. Aren't you gonna say hot pot?
I mean, I was because me and my coworker were talking about hot pot at work today. So it wouldn't be a terrible idea.
I don't want to be a hot pot right now.
That's fine.
Oh my god, tem duas pessoas na live e eu com a minha mão dentro da minha bunda. Foi minha avisou?
There's one person in the live, and it's probably a bot like this guy trying to sell me stream bots. If you're a real person, say hi in the chat.
I'll think about what I want to eat.
Just let me know. I butchered this cuff yesterday, so I gotta redo it. There goes that. There goes that. Right now I'm talking about the sets that I really want to see, and I'm realizing I don't know most of the artists on the set list.
Oh, I do. Alright, Friday. Friday. I want.
I stopped.
Hold on, I'm gonna go Friday.
Oh, I stopped Onyx Asian.
Okay, can I?
Yeah,
Can I go? Friday, I don't have anybody that I really want to see. Friday, I'm okay. I'm gonna just go with the flow. Definitely want to stop by Miss Monique just because she was my first ever DJ that I saw live, and definitely Sarah Landry. Sub Focus seems really good. Tape B is good, but okay. So Miss Monique, Sub Focus, Sarah Landry, Wooly. Tape B, I'm not.
You said almost the same ones I said.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't say Miss Monique.
I did say Miss Monique.
Oh, you're not gonna like her. She's straight up progressive house.
I mean, we'll see.
She's straight up progressive house. And then
I did say Gorilla Tea and Cannabis maybe some good watches.
maybe Cannabis.
Cannabis is someone who I always see on the lineup, and I was telling them, I was like,
Oh.
the interwebs, that's them, okay? If I don't act like I have viewers, then I'm never gonna get viewers.
I agree. Saturday, Andromagic for sure. Great drum and bass. Crank Daddy.
Yep.
Maybe Eli Brown. Excision.
You know, I don't know if Excision is gonna be worth the watch though.
Maybe Infect. Kai Watch. I'm sure he's not gonna do the same Lost Land set.
No, 100%. Lost Lands is his baby. Kaiwachi for sure because I'm dying to see him live. Infect is one that I don't. If it's a conflict, I'm not upset if we don't watch him.
Well, why don't you want to watch Excision?
Because we just saw him at Lost Lands, so I don't want to feel bad that his set isn't as good as Lost Lands.
I don't think. I think you're just being a bitch.
Okay, fine. I'm being a bitch.
I think you're just being a bitch. I think his set's gonna be good.
No, I also like. There's probably not going to be anyone else to watch. I highly doubt that anyone's going to conflict with him.
Her family's all pretty. Look at the camera.
Yeah, I highly doubt anyone's going to conflict with him. So yeah, definitely Excision. Maybe we can get them to watch Excision, the Brave fam. Okay, well, I tried.
Excision's too much for them. 999. Sure. Alley Cat. Yes. Charlotte DeWitty. I want to catch a little bit of Indira's.
I'm not even there yet.
Noctu-
9-9s I want to
no.
see. What's the acid set? What the hell?
Levotronics for sure.
Does it say Levotronics on here?
Right here, Bubba.
I never realized.
I never noticed that either. Levotronics, Nico Moreno. Damn, Sunday might be a lot of conflicts.
Sunday's gonna be full of conflicts.
Fuck.
Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and just go off what I wanted now. So we stopped on Infect. So yeah, Infect Kaiwachi for sure. Yeah, 9-9s I definitely want to see because they're one of the people that I've like always seen on a set list, and so long as they don't conflict with anyone, I'm 100% gonna watch them because I do like their music. Alley Cat for sure. Charlotte DeWitt for sure. No Damdala. I'm not gonna watch Damdala. I like Noctu. It's her who doesn't like Noctu. But because I'm obviously gonna stick with my wife, I'm more than likely not gonna watch Noctu set. Yeah, so Leveltronics is a for sure must see because I've been dying to see Leveltronics live. I am so sad that I missed the Leveltronics jersey drop because I feel like that jersey looks fan-freaking-tastic. I saw people at Lost Lands wearing it, and I was just like so tempted to just kind of like buy it secondhand, but I know someone's probably selling it for some stupid price secondhand. Nico Moreno for sure. 7 Lions not happening. Sophie Tucker for sure. Subtronics, yes. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of conflicts on Sunday because Insomniac is notorious for conflicts. Because why not? Why would you have a festival without conflicts? Now the only thing, so now that we're through the list, let's talk about conflicts because I know this is a conflicting conversation between the EDM community. So I think that you're going to get conflicts no matter what. And the reason why I say that is because unless you put a headliner artist early in the day, you're not going to not have conflicts. Lost Lands, fire lineup, absolutely packed full of conflicts. And the reason being is because there's just so many good artists on the lineup. So you're not going to not have conflicts. As crappy as it sounds. It's just completely up to you as the listener to make the decision on like what you want to do with those conflicts. Do you want to do a half and half? Do you want to do you want to skip out on an artist? Like at Lost Lands, me and my wife, we skipped out on Level Up Set, even though I'm sure Level Up Set was fantastic. We caught the tail end of it because we were on our way back to the tent. But we wanted to see Wooly. or not Wally. We wanted to see Ray Volpe, and we had already seen Level Up a good handful of times. So we were like, okay, let's not watch Level Up. And then we caught the tail end of Level Up when she played Genius, and that was a lot of fun. So then it's just completely up to you. Like, I know a lot of people complain about conflicts. Heck, I complain about conflicts, but here we are. Like, we have conflicts. You just got to make the most of it. It is not good to entirely blame the festival, even though there are some festivals that get away with it, but they also don't have crazy lineups. Like Okeechobee Fest does not have a good lineup, in my opinion. And I'm sure that they're going to have conflicts, or they might not have conflicts because they don't have too many crazy, crazy people on their lineup. All right. So I've done this a couple times. Now for this cup, I want it to be. I love Hollow. I would love to hear Hollow at EDC Orlando. So how I'm going to measure it here is I'm going to take 5 beads and I'm going to put them going vertically this way because I'm doing a carousel star cuff. So carousel meaning that I'm going to have posts. And I want to make sure I size it correctly. So this is going to be 4. And I think that 2 X's puts me exactly at 5. Perfect. So we are at our size. So now we're going to go ahead and close our cuff the same way we did yesterday. So now we're out of our accent bead and we're going to just go 2 black through an accent, 2 black through an accent. So 2 black through an accent. Two black through an accent. And we're just going to go ahead and do that all the way around, just like we did before. Same thing as always. All right, we're almost there, and then we can start on the 3D portion, which that is actually not going to take long for these carousel cuffs. I don't know what I was talking about. Oh yeah, so conflicts. Yeah, so I mean, like, you're gonna run into them. It sucks. It happens. To be perfectly honest, get over it. Like, don't go. I'm in a lot of Facebook groups for festivals. I am so sick and tired of hearing every single Facebook group complain about the same problems. Like, I'm in Los Angeles. I'm in EDC Orlando. I'm in EDC Las Vegas. I'm in Forbidden Kingdom. Every single one of them complains about the same exact thing. So, you know what the trend I see is happens at every single festival. Stop complaining about it. Me and my wife, we were gonna go to Hocus Pocus. We're not anymore, so I didn't even look at the set times. But I'm sure if I were to look at the set times, there's someone complaining about conflicts. The reason why we're not going to Hocus Pocus is because Hocus Pocus for some reason or another, Factory Town as a venue has gone very house. Now, I understand it's owned by a club, but for a while there, it was very techno based, and that's what we like when we go there. Is we go there for the techno. But there's not enough hard like techno or even like very much hard techno. Like, there's some good artists. I mean, hell, Sarah Laundry's going there, but it's like it's not enough that we can justify going. So we ended up selling our tickets, and we're just like, we're not gonna go. We're gonna use that money that we made and just spend it at EDC Orlando. Let me go ahead and change the set here because this is just a song, Kaiwachi. Um, we will listen to. I want to listen to techno, so we'll go to. Listen to Sarah Laundry set. Sarah Laundry EDC Las Vegas. A lot of people complain about Sarah Landry being very pop and not very much like hard techno because a lot of people want the underground warehouse hard techno. She plays hard techno, guys. It's just not the underground warehouse stuff. Like every genre has a subgenre. I know hard techno is a subgenre, but there is a difference between industrial hard techno and just basic hard techno. Like get over it. Not everyone wants to play the same freaking industrial hard techno that everybody else plays. Don't get me wrong. It's popular. It's fun. Nico Moreno does it. I love Nico Moreno. But get over it. It's not that deep. I am very much going to be excited to see some of the techno artists, though. Because as much as I love bass music, I could use some techno right about now. I've been to two bass fests back to back, that being Forbidden Kingdom and then Lost Lands. So having this mainstream fest to kind of get a break from that is going to be pretty nice. I was half expecting Hocus Pocus to be that break, but as I just mentioned, we will not be going to Hocus Pocus because I ain't listening to House. That ain't happening. We bought New Year's tickets for Factory Town, and it ended up being a lot of House. We didn't really pay attention to who was on the lineup, and we listened to the. We were there when the countdown happened, but we left at like 2-3 a.m. because it was just so boring. Like we were not having fun. It was just straight house music, and it wasn't. So I know that I cannot do a house fest. Like, sorry, not sorry. For all you house lovers out there. So we have finished going all the way around with our base color beads, and then we're gonna go ahead and tie it off. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna go through that hole there and then make a loop. So I go through the hole, and then here we go, we have a loop. So then I'm gonna bring the string through the loop. Perfect. And we're going to do that 3 times just so we can knot off. You don't have to do this. A lot of people don't. Most people don't really do this. I like to do it just because it makes me feel like it's more secure, even though it's really not, to be perfectly frank. But yeah. Do that 3 times just to make sure it's nice and secure. Give it a quick test fit, which it should fit no problem because I did a 36 band wrist. Especially with my fat wrist. Voila, it fits just fine. So we officially have a double X bass cuff. Voila, done. Nope, just kidding. So now we're gonna get a little fancy with it. Because my goal is always to make cuffs that are so good that my wife does not want to give them away, because it's hilarious seeing her say, I really don't want to give it away, but I really do want to give it away. All right, well, we're kind of screwed here. I have no clue how I'm going to do this So how my process usually goes is I will then plan out how I want my points. So we're gonna do a 7 bead point, and we're gonna essentially. I'll show you here in a second. I don't think I want to do black. I think there's plenty of black on here. So I think what we're gonna do here is we're gonna skip the black. So we'll put the black back in the bag. I may do blue. Kind of go against the grain here and do blue. Or not blue, white. Let's see here. Got some beads. Now we can kind of plan this out. I don't want it to all be sparkly. Maybe I might go 1, 2. A light color. And then a sparkle bead. Now you can see it's a very raw process when I'm doing this side of things. That's entirely optional. You can plan everything out beforehand, but I think it's more fun to do it this way and just kind of let the creative flow, like crazy, yes, but the creative juices kind of flow through there, through the old noggin. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put it on. So 7 beads. In whichever order you want, it's going to make another point. So instead of doing the points going downward, we're doing the points going outward. And that's how we're going to make a 3D. Now, you're going to see here, it's coming out of this bead here. Let me go ahead and just pull up the camera. So, we're coming out of this bead here. I'm going to skip this bead and go through this bead, making a point. So you'll be able to visually see it here. So, voila. I skipped 1 bead, going into another bead, making a point. Now, the one thing I'm realizing is because this is a different size cuff than usually what I do, the point is not as big as I would have liked. So I'm actually going to add a bead. But I also don't like the look of it. I think I might just add a black bead on each side, just kind of break it up. We're going to see how that looks. Oh, you know what? I might do clear. I might break it up with clear. That'll be perfect. I want the clear with the silver on it. So this one we're actually going to do 9 instead of 7 because of the sizing here on this wrist. If I did my usual 30 bead wrist, then 7 would have been fine. Anything you want, anything you want, anything you want, everything. That's gold. That's silver. Perfect. All right, and then we're just going to pull it. Perfect. So that's what I want. I want it to be an actual point, and this is where you want it to be really tight. Don't worry about the stretch because it's going to stretch just fine because all it's going to do is flatten out. But on the wrist, I want it to be nice and tight. The actual points, because I want it to be pointy, and you'll see why at the end. So I do like this look, and we're going to roll with it. And don't worry if it's a little bit saggy in between. The main, like the majority of how tight it is going to come as you put more and more on. But do just make sure that you keep it tight throughout. So same thing. I'm gonna skip this one here, go to this one. Every time I hear these whistles in like techno songs, I always think of the scene in White Chicks, where Terry is sitting there high on whatever, and with the whistle in his mouth, doing the disco points. And it's always hilarious because like that's the first thing that comes to mind when I'm over there, and I'll just start dying in the middle of like a festival, just thinking about that. All right, we have 3 out of the 6 points. Now, for the star-based carousel cuff, it doesn't take long to do once you have the X bases done. Because of the fact that we're not doing any crazy 3D, if we were doing a normal carousel, it also wouldn't take terribly long, as compared to like a pyramid cuff. Pyramid cuffs do take a little bit longer. I have decided I will be turning this one into a carousel cuff because I have not made a normal carousel cuff yet. Or I might do a rotator cuff on this one. I really don't know. I can't do a rotator because it's not going to sit right. I'll do a carousel on this one. So, and I'm only saying this because I know none of them are in here. I will be making cuffs for each one of my Ray fam. I do make cuffs for my wife on the regular, so that's obviously going to keep happening. But my normal Ray fam, they've never gotten like a full size cuff. So I will be giving them their first cuffs, and I'm going to try my best to do it at EDC Orlando. Hopefully, it doesn't become obvious that I'm giving it to them, because I'm going to have a bunch of very similar cuffs, because each one will be very similar to each other. So it's kind of like a matching Ray fam one. But it will be interesting to see their reactions to it, because they've never gotten cuffs. And I've been making cuffs for a little bit now. So I'm comfortable with giving it to people that I as gifts now. I mean, that's the whole reason why I'm streaming, because most people requested on my wife's Instagram and things like that to actually for me to like do tutorials on how to make these. So those who want to see it can come check out the stream and hang out for a little bit while I teach you how to make it. And then if the streams get popular enough, I'll do like small how-to videos, just to kind of like teach people how to do it easy. I wish I could stream on TikTok, but I do not have 1,000 followers on TikTok yet. So that sucks. Now this is really where you want to keep like pulling it tight. Now you're going to see here where it really shines what I was showing before. So this is nice and tight, but I'm still going to do it anyway. So I'm going to pull this side to get all the slack out of there, and then just kind of work my way down, pulling all the slack out. And boom, look at all that slack I just pulled out from those tips. And then we'll skip the last one and pull on the actual end. And these should all be very firm. And I'm going to go ahead and do the last point on the top. And then we're going to work our way through the cuff. What you can do is you can cut the string off and then tie a new string on the other end. I like to keep as much on a single string as possible because it's more secure that way. And if it does break, you can go ahead and do your little surgery on it. But that's why I always try to keep it stretched, because then I know it's not going to break. Yeah, I mean, I like Sarah Landry. I think I've heard better sets from her than her EDC Las Vegas set. It probably was a bop in person. Not gonna lie, Sarah Landry is a lot more fun in person, as a lot of DJs are. My wife heard her set in person, and it wasn't life changing, but she said she had fun. Sophie Tucker is going to be a really fun set. I really like Sophie Tucker. Sophie Tucker was the first hard techno DJ that I was actually like, okay, like I really like her. Nico Moreno was then my second, and Nico Moreno I think is literally like awesome. He's just like a dude who likes boppy music, bumpy music, bouncy music, whatever you want to call it. So, boom, we have all of our tips. We have a floppy tip that's going to get fixed here in a second, but you can kind of start seeing where the cuff is going now. So I got a 6 point, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side now. And all I'm going to do to get to that other side is just pull it through the beads so that the string is hidden. So I'm just going to work my way down, and then when I get to a point where it starts getting tight, like on the actual end, then I know that I can pull the slack from the tip here, which I think I'm almost there. Which I think I'm actually already there. I'm gonna pull all that slack out. This is all slack right here. From here. And look, there's still more slack in there. Boom. Still more slack, still more slack. Keep going. As much slack as humanly possible. I'm going to put it through 2 more beads just to kind of get it tighter. And then we're going to keep pulling the rest of the slack out, because it's very important to do this now because you're not going to be able to do it later. All right, so now we're at a point where I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull. That's all slack right there from the first point. So, and we're going to go second point slack. And just keep working our way around. This is all slack here. You want to get rid of that slack, make a nice point. And then this is the last one. This is all slack right here, guys. Then pull the end. And then phenomenal. Phenomenal. That's exactly what we want right there. Then we're going to go ahead and pull through everything. And I'll give it one last tug just to get the last little bit out of here, even though this is pretty much where I want it. You want these tips to essentially be almost solid, because when you take it on and off, it's a tip. So it's going to just become flat. So it's not going to affect at all how much you can actually stretch the actual cup itself. And you want to pull through these beads nice and tight too, because if you don't, it's going to get to the point and it's just going to lose all of that slack that you took out of it. So you can kind of try to make it straight here. Can't really see it too well. You can kind of try to make the beads straight here and pull it through just to get that last little bit out, and voila. All right, now we're just going to do the same exact thing that we did before. First and foremost, confirm that you're on the same exact bead. Which unfortunately I'm not. Note to self, it can't be a double X. It has to be an actual double X base. I completely messed up this cuff, guys. So this is going to be another cuff we salvage to be something else. Thankfully, we can backtrack here. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm going to salvage these beads. Ay, ay. Alright, well that sucks. I could also salvage it by cutting it on the knot and then undoing the bottom. But what's the fun in that? Just make another one. And that's all I'm going to do is just make another one. And this is like the trial and error thing. Like, I'm not a professional candy maker by any stretch of the imagination. But I mean, like, I can make my way around candy. And I do it for fun. Entirely for fun. And because of, giving it away to people is also awesome. And I think it's a great part of the festival community. It does kind of annoy me when people compare it to kind of Taylor Swift because it's not the same. When you trade with someone at a Taylor Swift concert, I don't feel like it's the same as trading with someone at a rave because it's just not. The Taylor Swift community is not the same as the rave community. You're going there for Taylor Swift. You're not going there for the community. So, like, yeah, I've had a lot of people who look at me and they're like, "Oh, so that's like the Taylor Swift bracelet." I'm like, "No, it's not the Taylor Swift bracelet. It's my bracelet." So, what are we gonna do here with you? What are we gonna do with you? It is an odd cuff. It is a very odd cuff. I can't do a 3D with it because of the way it's done. Or do a 3D. I think this one I am actually just going to go ahead and just keep it as a X-Base cuff because I don't think there's any saving this one. Actually, I got an idea for this one. Might do some drink water stuff in there. So that is now 2 cuffs that I need to salvage later on. Or I might just put Excision X's on there and be like, "Ah, cool, it's an Excision X cuff." I do not have time today to start on another cuff. I will likely jump on tomorrow and hammer away at these. So tomorrow, I will try to finally get the Flow Star cuff done right. And then we will also do something with those other two cuffs. Today's cleanup was a lot faster than yesterday's cleanup because I didn't have as much of a mess. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and call the stream for today, guys. Thank you so much for everyone who stopped by. As always, it means a lot. Just so even if you just stop by to say hi, I will go ahead and see you guys next time we jump on to make Kandi. I'm gonna hopefully be making Kandi all the way up until EDC Orlando, but we're gonna go ahead and see how